Who is he, the young Greek with a royal surname who has chosen New York over Athens and is preparing for military service? Today, we discuss Constantine Alexios and what it is like to be a prince without a throne. Constantine Alexios is the eldest son of Marie-Chantal Miller and Pavlos Greek, with whom high expectations and hopes are associated. Although he is only 26 years old, he has already managed to establish himself as one of the most promising members of the former Greek house, even though the monarchy in that country was abolished as early as 1974. Constantine played his first serious role in the history of his family when, in January 2023, his famous grandfather, the former king of Greece, Constantine II, passed away. After this event, Pavlos assumed the symbolic leadership of the now nominal Greek royal family. In effect, Constantine Alexios became the heir to traditions and titles which, although they do not carry any legal force in modern Greece, still hold significant historical and cultural importance. It is noteworthy that Constantine himself, despite his illustrious name, leads a rather quiet life and does not seek to attract undue attention. However, if one looks into his past, it becomes clear that he received an excellent education at Georgetown University in Washington. Incidentally, Pavlos Greek once studied there as well, having earned a master's degree in international relations. After graduating from the university in May 2022, Constantine kept his further plans and projects private for a long time. This period of silence ended with the unexpected announcement that the young prince would become the first member of the family to voluntarily undergo the mandatory military service in Greece, following the restoration of their Greek citizenship. Let us recall that after the passing of King Constantine, when the family officially restored its Greek citizenship in December 2024, they all formally reclaimed the surname de Graecia. At the same time, Pavlos Greek and his relatives publicly acknowledged the republican constitution of the country and renounced any claims to the throne that once existed. Although the crown and power are now a thing of the past, a new wave of interest in the former royal dynasty in Greece continues unabated. There is a simple explanation for this. People view heritage and traditions as an integral part of the national cultural code. It appears that the idea of military service resonated not only with the hearts of devoted admirers, but also with Constantine himself. He is expected to undertake the Greek conscription campaign, which lasts from 9 months to a year, depending on where he is assigned. For the family of Greece, this is akin to a return to traditions. Constantine Alexios' grandfather, Constantine II, was the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and Pavlos Greek studied at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst, one of the premier military academies in the United Kingdom. At present, while the details of his service are still being finalized, Constantine has settled in New York, in the Upper East Side, a true epicenter of luxury and status. Since 2017, the entire family has resided in this picturesque corner of Manhattan, where the young prince quickly assimilated into the circle of affluent youth. This circle includes the children of millionaires, tycoons, designers, and other figures of high fashion and art, with names such as Elektra Niarchos and Araminta Melon frequently mentioned. The social circles in which Constantine moves are comparable to traditional European aristocratic salons in terms of chic and luxury. They can be seen at parties and social gatherings, and in the evenings they happily relax at the most fashionable spots in New York, such as the famous Casa Cruz. Despite his genuine love for social events, the young heir does not neglect his passion for sports. According to him, he adores water sports such as diving and fishing, and he is also passionate about skiing. Recently, social media was abuzz with a collection of photographs in which Constantine is seen gliding on a bobsleigh. This took place at the legendary Swiss venue known as Cresta Run, where famous competitions in skeleton racing and other winter sports are held. Together with his parents and relatives, Constantine spent his winter holidays there, and there is no doubt that the impressions from this new passion will last him for a long time. Music also plays an important role in the life of the young prince. In his free time, he studies piano pieces and experiments with playing the guitar, and he is also deeply interested in photography and even film directing. Last year, Constantine directed a short film featuring his brother Achilles and his nephew Adnan Khashoggi. The style of this video reminded many of the atmosphere created by James Dean himself, which is not surprising since there is nothing more enjoyable for young members of the aristocracy than experimenting with the classics of cinema. Constantine Alexios's love for social life is unlikely to prevent him from fulfilling his duties as a new citizen of Greece and as a future serviceman with dignity. After all, as Pavlos Greek stated, military service is both a right and a duty for every person who has obtained the country's passport. Therefore, if he intends to immerse himself more deeply in Greek culture and connect his life with his historic homeland, this step appears to be more than logical. In this case, recognition and respect from society are guaranteed. Yet, as with any good story, the main intrigue remains off-screen. Will Constantine be able to establish himself as the ideal representative of the former royal family, while harmoniously combining this role with his education, creative ambitions, and interest in sports? On the one hand, he has already proven that he can be a prominent figure in the New York social scene. On the other hand, his genes carry the lineage of Greek and Danish monarchs, which implies that he has inherited the ability to behave elegantly and with dignity on the international stage. Nevertheless, the question of whether the new Greek dynasty will actively assert itself in European circles remains open. People often feel a special fascination for royal stories. They are imbued with romance, drama, and a connection across generations. For us, the most important thing is to observe how young members of dynastic nobility find their place in the modern world, laying out for us fateful cards and surprising us with new, sometimes bold twists. Undoubtedly, the life of Constantine Alexios is not merely about photographs on Instagram and appearances in the society pages. Behind the scenes of bustling parties lies a challenging task: to preserve family bonds, to honor historical traditions, and at the same time, to boldly embrace the future. It appears that the young prince from the former Greek royal house is successfully managing this mission. After all, he possesses not only titles and a noble heritage, but also personal charm, a world-class education, creative talents, and, of course, the support of his entire family. We can only wonder what other surprises fate has in store for Constantine Alexios. However, as experience shows, the lives of members of European dynasties are always filled with unexpected events, memorable encounters, and resounding achievements. And who knows, it is quite possible that this young man will soon secure the status of the most prominent and relevant figure in the entire royal community. All that remains for us is to follow the development of his destiny and to await new news that will undoubtedly soon appear in the headlines of the society pages.